Okay, we're here. We're recording. We are live on Facebook. I'm so excited to have you here, Whitney. I'm really pumped to have this conversation with you because it's something that I'm passionate about, that I'm getting into, and that nobody wants to talk about when it comes to women.
Well, I think we're going to have a great conversation. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope people learn something.
Yes, that's always important. Learning something. So get your pen, get your paper, and I'm sure we'll let you know how to contact Whitney after. But I'm just going to read her short bio. So Whitney Nicely, yes, this is her real last name. I just asked her that. Went from no investments, no strategies to 19 houses, 19 apartment units, and 7 chunks of land in less than 3 years, all bringing in monthly money to her bank account on autopilot. She's traveled to the U.S. or through the U.S., speaking on stage, searching or teaching her simple strategies, meeting with other successful real estate investors, and still buying houses the way she teaches others. Yes. Whitney is a dog mom. I love this. To Abby, 130 pounds. Holy shit. And wife to Jason, an apartment investor, stepmom to Gavin and Harrison. Since 2016, Whitney has led and trained hundreds of future real estate rock stars to grow their portfolios, collect checks, and achieve financial freedom. Hundreds of real estate newbies. Yes. Love this. Getting leads, making shit happen through her First Deal Done Fast program. Welcome, Whitney.
Thanks, Heather. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
It was a great introduction.
I'm like, it's been a long day. So this is why I said yes. And people won't know why, because they'll be like, what does Mom is in Control have anything to do with real estate investing? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that, because what a lot of people don't know is that my husband has been doing real estate investing, tapping into it for a few years now, and recently took the plunge to quit his job to create more space, more time, more energy to pursue this passion. Now, I'm giving you a quick backstory before we get into this. He was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what's my purpose? What are we going to do? And I live this world, right? So I work with women who want more in their lives, money, time, energy, emotional health, relationships, all of this. And I said, honey, we had a heart to heart. I'm not willing to play small because you want to stick to your job. And even if you want to stick to your job, you can work at Tim Hortons. I'm in Canada. You can work at Tim Hortons. You could be a mail person. You could walk dogs for a living. You can clean houses. There's no reason why you cannot be a real estate investor as well. But there's a mindset behind it of like, I have to have money to do that. And I don't have money to do that. And I'm really excited to talk to you about that. But anyways, we went to a seminar, and the aha moments of like investments. I mean, we're talking about, it was like, and I know you've posted this in your group before, of like having the physical investment rather than this like concept, right? Realizing that right now I'm sitting in an investment, understanding that we can have other investments. So I think it's really important. But what I like about you, Whitney, is you're talking directly to women. And this is a conversation. I mean, I just got off the phone with another interview talking about money and women, and that's a whole nother conversation. But when I think about real estate investing, one, I don't typically think about women. And if I want to get into it, I got to find the right man to teach me, or the right person. So this is why I'm really excited to have the conversation with you, because I attract a lot of women that are like, I don't know what I want to do. And they're trying to find this big grand purpose in their lives. But I'm like, guys, it's so important to have multiple streams of revenue. It's not just your job or whatever. That's really important. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to give you the mic. And like, I just want to know what ignited this spark within you to start this.
Well, it's all my mom's fault,
Awesome.
to be completely honest, because my mom is in control. And she has always been a real estate investor. She's been buying houses since 1978, I think. And she's got 6 or 7 or 8 houses right now. I have more houses than she does right now, which I'm very proud of that, because I've only been investing for 3 years instead of more. But my mom ignited this in me. I grew up as a real estate investor's kid. So I always knew that money was going to show up in the mailbox every single month. Like I was in my 20s before I realized that most people just got bills in the mailbox. I thought everybody had money in the mailbox. And then I was in my 20s and, trying to live on my own and do my own thing. And I was at my mom's.
Sorry, it's all good. Go ahead.
I was at my mom's office one day when she was making the rental deposit. And I was like, why don't I have any money that comes in the mailbox? And I love this part of the story because this would have been a great time for my mom to talk about Robert Kiyosaki or talk about the cash flow or talk about return on investments or anything. But my mom dead straight looked at me and she was like, well, you have to buy something first. Like, go figure it out. If you want monthly money to come in every month, go buy something and figure it out.
She didn't just say, hey, honey, here you go. I will hand it to you on a silver platter.
Nope. She had to learn the old, slow, boring way. And she knew I was either going to be smart enough to figure it out or I was going to go find something else to do. And I'll tell you, I went broke trying to get rich in real estate because I was trying to do things the way I'd always watched her do things, but she didn't have any strategy. She didn't have any formulas. She didn't have any plans. She was just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what would stick. And she was just really good at it. But I needed some structure and I needed somebody that I could ask questions to and I could ping pong ideas off of. And so I had to outgrow my mom's investing strategy pretty quickly because I ran out of money and I still wanted to go buy stuff. And before I ran out of money, I did buy 2 pieces of land and a house, but then I wanted to buy another house. So I borrowed all my brother's life savings and told him he was going to be my partner. And we bought another house and then we were both out of money and had to figure out how to keep going. And I reached out and joined the Real Estate Investors Association. And there was a room full of men. There's 4 women in the group. One lady was an insurance agent trying to get business from the other investors that were there. Another lady was like a hardcore investor. She's amazing. She owns like all of one county in East Tennessee. And there was another lady there just kind of moral support for her husband. And then there was me. And I was like, where are the women? Why aren't there more women here? Where are the agents? Agents are surrounded by real estate all day. Why aren't there agents here? And they're mostly women too. So I was really confused, but I just hung out with the boys until I got it figured out, I guess. And now they call and want to ask me questions. So I've busted through the good old boys club.
So that's okay. One, where's your accent from?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nice. Do I sound Canadian to you?
No, but you are very nice, so you're fitting the profile.
Oh my gosh. I got to tell you something about nicely. The other day I was at the mall. Somebody dropped $100 bill right in front of me and she had her back to me and she walked away. I seen this guy coming in for it and I scooped it up and I said, I'm going to give it to her. And I ran to her. I pat her on the back and I was like, here's your money. My son was with me. And this will circle back around to the conversation we're having. My son was with me and I said, is this yours? Which I kind of knew it was. I literally just seen her drop it. And her reaction was like, yes, thank you. She wasn't like, oh, $100 bills. Yes, that's mine. Or $100 bill. Yes, that's mine. My son goes, why would you do that, Mom? We were actually in Sephora and I was buying makeup. I'm like, I know I could have got free makeup. and I said, it's karma. And not only that, I don't need it. I'm going to give it away. And if I'm going to have the lack mindset that I need to steal this from somebody else, that is not abundance. That is not feeling in control of your life. Not only that, I'm a huge advocate for being a role model. And my son watched me. I did not second guess myself so that when he's in that situation, realizing, give it away, give it away, give it away. And it's not about give away the farm. It's about that wasn't mine to take. I knew whose it was. That would have been different if I found it on the side of the road and I was like, let's manifest money. Oh, look, there's $100 bill and there's nobody around. That's different. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's the deeper why. The deeper why of, real estate investment is the tool. It could be the strategy. It's a game. It's fun. It's exciting, but there's nothing what is your big why? Like, you know, your mom inspired you. You outgrew her strategy. You had to find your own mentors. But what kept you going when you were like, okay, I got to hang out with all these boys and play my own game?
I was working for my mom at the time, and I was living in one of her rental houses when I got started. I was working 4 different jobs for my mom. I was flipping furniture as a side hustle. I was flipping dump trucks also on evenings and weekends.
I've never even heard of this.
I mean, I was working, and I was living in Knoxville. I had a boyfriend in Atlanta. He had kids in travel ball, and I wanted to leave the office at like noon on Friday so that I could drive to Atlanta and get my weekend started. And my mom wanted me to be at the desk from at least 8 to 5, sometimes 8 to 8, Monday through Friday, and then whenever I could hop by Saturday and Sunday, because that's how she grew up. That's how she'd always worked. And that's how she thought, you know, you have to give your time at the job location to, you know, make the money and make it happen. You got to be there. You don't want to miss anything, all that stuff. And I looked around and decided that I didn't want to be chained to my desk. And I wanted to have flexible freedom in my schedule. I wanted to make money. I'm the 4th generation entrepreneur. Okay. My great grandfather started trucking in 1939. As soon as I graduated college, I went straight to the family business. And there's a lot of pressure on 4th generation because you don't want to be the one that screwed it up for everybody ahead of you. You know,
you're just going to stop for everybody.
Well, you know, there's 2 options here. I can stay here and be frustrated and not, you know, have my ideas heard and my voice really responded to or respected, or I could go try to figure out something on my own. And if I sank, it would be my fault. But if I, you know, soared, that would be to me also. And I had enough determination and gumption to go out and rock it. Awesome. And I did. And one thing though is, you know, I had a hard time leaving because I had that loyalty to the family. And I had a really hard time leaving. And I know a lot of people aren't in a family business, but a lot of people do feel that loyalty to that weekly or bi-weekly check. It's not that they feel loyalty to their boss. It's that they feel it to that safety and security of knowing they're going to get paid slow and steady. But in order to get that loyalty, they have to give up 40 years of their life.
Right.
Whereas I busted my tail for 2.5 years. And now I'm pretty much retired at 33.
Well, the beautiful thing is, you know, when people have this illusion, and I see it being sold out there a lot, which is bullshit, of, you know, leave the 9 to 5 and create this freedom. It doesn't mean that you're working less. It just means 1, you totally enjoy what you're doing. And 2, you can create that. So I can put my children on the bus in the morning. I can take them off the bus. I can take the day off or create space in my calendar to go on a field trip. Or I'm pretty sure that you're in a hotel somewhere. So yes. you have the virtual, you can work virtually from anywhere. So you can travel and do business at the same time.
Well, what's really cool, my husband also went through a job transition just this summer, and he started working for me for a while, and that was fun until it wasn't as much fun as we thought it was going to be. And so he's picked up a consulting gig in Tampa. And we're in Tampa right now because my money comes in every month directly to my bank account, and I can collect that online from my phone, either from the house, from his house, from my mom's office, or from a hotel in Tampa because my husband's got a gig going on.
Love this. So I want to talk about the feminine in real estate investing and like how that is different. How is it different investing? I know you were something about, you know, I'm sure the comments come, right? When you're in this industry. But what do you think the pros are for women doing real estate investing?
As a woman, we can get away with saying some things that men just can't say sometimes. And sometimes we can make lower offers and present them in a way that's nicer, or we can connect with the seller on a person-to-person basis because men are very mathematical and analytical and like hardcore numbers driven. Mm-hmm. And women come from a place of wanting to connect and have that kind of friendship and relationship and, you know, other things going on. And so when we can find somebody that has a problem, all we're trying to do is solve that problem. We let the math filter in, whereas men go in and they're all about the math and they get a lot of no's because they didn't take the time to build it into a relationship. And I think that is a huge pro for women. And women are agents, real estate agents. I mean, most real estate agents are women. People are used to women being in real estate, but not as the owner, not as the one in control, as the representative. But it's such a fast jump from being licensed to being an investor. Mm-hmm. And I think back, I'm a broker. And what I used to have to do to make money as an agent was awful. And I had to give up nights and weekends and way more than I thought I would just to chase that clear to close. Mm-hmm. But as an investor, I get to be in control, and I'm a control freak. I need the control. I have to have it. And I didn't have it as an agent. So that was a huge pro. And that's what a lot of women overlook is they get this license. They think they're on the fast track to real estate. And then they get bogged down in just chasing the clear to close and making sure that everybody on both sides is happy. Whereas as women, we don't make sure we're happy. We make sure everybody else is happy, but we forget about us until we turn around and we've given as much as we have and there's nothing left.
Yeah. I want to know what that emotion was when you were like, oh, thinking back, what that brought up for you.
I had a new investor who went to a boot camp, and they heard at the boot camp that they needed to have an agent on their team, and they found me at an auction. And we drove around for days and days and days, and I had to miss weekends of going to Atlanta to see my fella and the kids and everything. And at the end of the day, they were making these crazy lowball offers, and it was never going to go anywhere. And I mean, I spent months with them doing this, and it went nowhere. And it was a fast track to nowhere, and I wasn't getting paid for any of this. But they knew things that I didn't know. They knew terms, they knew formulas, they knew what they were going after. I just didn't ever think they were going to get it. And especially not going through me and going through another agent and then getting to the seller. Right. So I had to take a step back and say, how can I get straight to the seller? And that's one of my deal breakers now. I don't do anything. I don't look at properties. I won't even talk about properties that are listed on the MLS because I need to be able to get straight to the heart of the seller and talk to them and make sure that I'm really solving their problem, because sometimes a lump sum of cash is not what would actually help this seller. Sometimes slow and steady payments would be the best solution for this seller. Mm. And I can't get to that by going through 2 or 3 different people.
So that just brought up something else for me that I did not know, being a real estate investor, like learning in the last few years, was that you can actually get people out of a pretty deep pickle. Being a real estate investor, and it comes from such a compassionate, loving place. And, seeing the few deals that my husband has done, like, would literally bring me to tears, because I'm like, you just saved their life. And, yes, maybe, well, no, I can't even say yes, maybe they would have got less for the house, because no one would buy their fucking house because it was a pigsty or it was destroyed or they needed to they were going to lose it. But it was beautiful. And I remember this one deal that he did. He gave the guy a check and was like, here's $2,000, go, cash. This was like outside of the deal. And he was like, go start something fresh. And he's like, what? Like, why are you giving me money? And he's like, because, like, I took your house, I did what I needed to do, I'm going to flip it, I'm going to rent it out, do whatever I need to do. And the deal is done there, but you are a human and I want to make sure that you are taken care of. And that one shows the quality. I'm like, okay, my husband's not an asshole. He does have a heart and it beats and it beats blood, but it just shows that you can be compassionate towards other people. And it can be a win-win situation where, someone would have just gotten destroyed and been homeless. And that's the beauty of it. And I think that's what this can give women. And it could be of service to you and be of service to the seller.
So I get a lot of houses where people have, you started out, you're a young couple and you bought a house, you lived in it for a while, and then you had kids or dogs or parents moved in, whatever, you needed a bigger house, but you didn't sell the first one. You just kept it and you rented it. And that was fine until the tenants moved out. And then the house was empty and you had things going on. So you didn't want to go back through and rent it or see what needed to be done to it. So a lot of people will make payments on an empty house and they will skip their vacations. They will skip getting a new car. They will not let their kids sign up for travel ball because they know they got to make this payment every month. And it's just it becomes a wedge in their marriage. It's an awful thing that happens to people. So even if I come through, even if I don't give them any money, but I just take this payment on, it frees up their whole world. Suddenly the sun is brighter and everything is so much happier. And you can save lives, you can save marriages, you can save credit, you can save so many people that have a problem. But cashing out may have helped these people, but they may have had to invest money to be able to cash it out.
Right.
And maybe if they're not in a position to do that, I can take it over and just get the payments on it. So it helps so many people. And when you really care about helping people, you never have to worry about your pipeline being full.
Yeah, I love this. So let's talk about where someone gets started. So a woman's listening to this. She could be single mom. She could be married. She's ambitious, because I attract a lot of ambitious women who, their number one goal is time freedom. They want to spend more time with their children. And more importantly, their health is like really, really, really important to them. Their mental health, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of that. So I'm listening to this. Let's pretend I'm listening to this and I'm like, where the fuck do I get started? This seems really complicated and overwhelming. And do I have to have $50,000 to get started?
You don't have to have $50,000 to get started. If you have $50,000, that means we can do a lot more deals a lot faster, but you don't need a certain amount of money. The first deal that I did in lease options, because that's what I promote is lease options or owner financing, no banks, no credit.
And
no
do
money.
I need to know what a lease option is or owner financing?
Well, I'll tell you, a lease option is a really fancy rental agreement with the opportunity to buy the house at a certain given time in the future. That's it. And owner financing or seller financing is when the house is free and clear, there's no mortgage on it, and the seller decides to be the bank for you and they finance it to you. So that's pretty basic too. So when you are looking to find these properties, you're looking to find these sellers that you're going to work with, I like to help people first find a honey hole, because there's going to be somewhere where either they live right now or they want to live in the next 5 years or they plan on living in the next 15 years. And that might be where they need to start investing now. I also really encourage people, the first step to finding your honey hole, everybody in your town, there's some sort of revitalization or a gentrification or, everybody's flipping. There's a really hot spot in town. I mean, do you know where that spot is in your town?
Yeah, but where I live right now, it would be real estate is hot and it's cheap.
So wherever it is that all the other investors and the flippers and the, wholesalers and the agent, wherever everybody's wanting to go the opposite direction. Because to get your first deal, it's going to be so much easier for you to go out there where you're not butting heads with 10 other people. You can talk to sellers, you can take your time, you can really get to know the area, and you can become a big fish in a small pond.
It's kind of like, sorry, I just totally cut you off, but it reminds me of when I go to the grocery store and all the lines are huge. And then I'm like, I'm just going to the beauty counter and checking myself out there. And there's nobody standing there. And they're like, yeah, you can bring your groceries through here. And I'm like, you got to think outside the box.
Yes,
so what's an example of that? So the hot spot, right, in a city. Can you give a specific example of what that would look like?
Well, that's exactly how I got started. Everybody in Knoxville was going to West Knoxville, and I lived in East Knoxville. So when I'd go to the RIA meetings, everybody was talking about how hot it was, and they couldn't get any deals, and so-and-so was getting this and that and the other, and not making any money, and blah, 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 blah. And I looked around where I was living, and I was like, none of y'all are over here. But I didn't have the confidence to go talk to my neighbors yet, to talk to my friends, to talk to people who really knew me. So I took it a step further, and where I worked was about 30 minutes away from my house. So I started there. None of my friends were there. None of my competition was there. I went direct opposite. I went to where I was going to be every single day, where I was going to be naturally driving by every single day. And I started way out in the country. And there's good people out of the, you know, the hub of downtown where everybody wants to be, or West Knoxville or Fountain City or wherever it is in your town where everybody wants to be. There's still other people that are good people, that have good money, that have problems that aren't there. So instead of focusing so hard on where everybody else is going, go find your own little honey hole. And it may be 30 minutes down the road. It may be an hour and a half down the road, but it's going to be worth the drive to get the deals done, to bring in these big $10,000 or $15,000 checks. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be where you want to live. You know, I also started, when I started out there, there's 2 lakes out there. And so I told all my sellers very easily, because it was the truth. The truth always wins.
Yep.
I want to find a lake house out here, and that's why I'm looking out here. Your house isn't on the lake, so it doesn't fit my criteria, but it might fit some of my partner's criteria. I could find somebody that would want to live in this. Total truth. And they're like, okay, yeah, I can see that. No problem. So my sellers didn't have a problem with me selling the house or, assigning my deal or anything that I was doing, because I told them the truth the whole time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people get uncomfortable with that too. What if they find out I'm not moving into it? Well, tell them you're not moving in.
Because you're talking about signing a lease agreement or mm-hmm. a lease to whatever agreement.
Yes.
Because I know all the technical terms. Lease to own agreement, but being honest that you're probably going to lease it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
That someone else is going to live in it. This is a really interesting concept, because I've heard about it when it comes to Airbnbs.
Oh, that's beautiful. Amazing.
Airbnb-ing somebody else's house. Because at the same time, you're like, hey, your house is empty. Do you want to make money? But it at the end of the day, all of this is about trust, right? Trusting the person you're working with. And like, if I got a bad vibe checking you out, Whitney, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. and that's just the truth, right? But I'm sure, because I think it was you or somebody on your team reached out, and I was like, okay, then they probably know my energy, and that's why we would get along. But the truth is, in life, business is relationships. And at the core of this, if you are a nasty person, if you are an untruthful person, if you're hiding something, like, people can smell it a mile away, and you will attract that, or you will butt up against a wall or something. So you are your business. That's it. Like, this is the essence of what I teach. I'm like, you are everything. There's a reason why your children, and I know, we're not talking about parenting, but there's a reason why children, partners, someone else, they're butting up against something, they're reacting to something. So when you're going to meet somebody and you're being truthful and honest about the deal that you want to do with their investment, with their precious time that they probably grew up in, or their grandma grew up in, or, they made and had their first baby in that house or whatever, then you gotta be empathetic. And I love this conversation. So I didn't know if you wanted to say something about Airbnb.
I don't have any Airbnbs, but it's the basic same thing as, an Airbnb would be a short-term rental though. And what I'm doing is getting people's houses and putting them on long-term rentals. And the Airbnb money is probably more than I get per night. But when I do a lease option, somebody gives me a big lump of money up front. So I don't need as much per night. So that's not exactly my business model, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
And this is the thing. It's a different model, and there's ways of being. There's not one way of doing this. You find what works for you. So the gist that I'm getting is you don't need to have money to start real estate investing, but you do need to know how to approach people, conversations, confidence. Like, what do you teach people? So I want to talk about your program. I'm going to screw up the title again, but Get Your First Deal Done Fast. First deal done fast. Okay, cool.
First Deal Done Fast is the self-study program. Okay. And it's designed to we start with the mindset modules so that we can get your head in the game to become an investor, because a lot of people are really uncomfortable with money. I've learned that as a coach. And, people want to talk about making $10, $20, $30,000 a month, but when it actually happens, they freak out and, stop marketing. Or somebody says they made too much money, even if it was their husband says they made too much money. My boyfriend at the time is my husband now. I was making money and doing deals, and he was like, well, it'll stop. This is completely a fluke. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. I'm really actually doing this. And so sometimes people who are really on your team say things to throw you off schedule. So we start with the mindset of becoming a real estate investor, a successful real estate investor, and how to prepare yourself for that. And then we move into the conversations that you're going to have with the sellers, because they're going to have some questions, they're going to have some concerns, and we need to address those before they become the elephant in the room, right? And as easy as we can talk to people and have a regular conversation, and I like to say that we story negotiate. I don't come in with a hard negotiation and a contract and like this. I come in and I talk through it. As I'm walking through the house, I'm talking through the negotiation. As I'm telling them my story, I'm also negotiating at the same time. I'm either bringing them up to that I can make their payments, maybe even give them more money per month, or I'm bringing them down to this really needs a cash offer and it's going to be low. But there's got to be ways that you can structure the conversation so that you're building a relationship. They're not going to kick you out the door, and that you're going to be able to get this deal done and actually help this seller. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end of the course, we talk about finding buyers and making sure that we're getting enough money and making enough money and how we can maybe squeeze a little bit more money out of it.
Nice. I love this. And one thing that just came up for me is change is uncomfortable.
Oh, it's awful.
And change is going to be very uncomfortable for your seller. And so it's the same as when I'm having a conversation with a woman who says, Heather, I want change in my life. And then I say, great, this is the investment. And then she vomits, runs away, and hides. I say, this is where the magic truly happens but understand that your seller, it's an emotional selling thing for them, right? It's not about the money for them, and they need to know, like, and trust you. And I get it too, when I'm investing in myself or when I'm having uncomfortable conversations, but you have to have that sense of self-awareness to know yourself enough to go, wow, I'm really uncomfortable. This means I'm close to a breakthrough, or I'm really uncomfortable. I'm going to run towards the fear instead of running away from it. And it's always those women who say yes to opportunity and go, I'm ready for this. I'm like terrified. I want to vomit. It's like, go vomit, do some jumping jacks, take the next step and leap, because that's where change happens. So I want to know, okay, obviously there's this program, your self-study program. Is there another program that you offer? Do you offer one-on-one? And who do you typically attract? Like, who is your ideal target?
I think our ladies are the same. I like powerhouse women. I like women that have got it going on. They've got, either they're self-employed or they've got some time freedom with their schedule, and they want more, or they want more money so that they can not have to worry about, do I get 5 days this week, or can I only do 3, or when are we going to take this extra vacation? Like, they just want,
or can I give back and make a bigger difference? Like, there's so many opportunities.
Yes. And because they have friends and family that need places to live, or they know people in the community, or they know people that have money who aren't making enough money and they want to help their friends make more money.
Right.
And I attract women that like money. They like making money, they like spending money, and they want to be able to make sure that their money is going to outlive them, so that they have generational wealth set up for their kids, and maybe their kids won't have to work so hard. So I think we might attract the same women. But like, when we talk about First Settle and Fast is kind of the gateway program in, and when you get it, right now I'm running a special so you can come to my workshop in Knoxville, included in the price of the self-study course. But then bumping up from there, I've got a mastermind program. So we meet monthly, or we meet weekly in the mastermind program, but it does have a monthly subscription. And then I have one-on-one coaching. I have a high-end yearly one-on-one. It includes everything that I come out with and every event. And so I've got a lot of different ways that we can work together. I'll even come to your town and help you drive around and help you find your honey hole, mm-hmm. or you can come spend the day with me. Yes. I don't care. Whatever it's going to take to help you get out there and get those deals done, let's do it.
Yeah. It's more about, obviously, I'm assuming you have conversations with people and just make sure like what's a right fit,
Yes.
right? To see which program. So where's the best way? Well, whatever you were just about to say. And then I was going to say, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, it's always personal preference. Some people I talk to, they don't want houses. Maybe they used to be a landlord and they don't want to deal with that anymore. They just want to get straight into apartments. That's cool. I've got apartments. I'll help you get into those too. And it's always important to have that phone call to make sure that I can, you know, give you what you actually need for your goals. And that's so important to me to make sure that we're going down the right path.
And I see so many people, like, because I'm always more and more, I'm talking about debunking like Facebook ads, like what people are selling in Facebook ads. I love them. I utilize them, but I've seen so many women invest in like thousands and thousands of dollars in these programs, and they've never talked to the person that has actually created the program.
I may not speak to everybody that gets into First Deal Done Fast until they're in the student group. A lot of people go to my website and order it, and then they're in the student group. And then we start this conversation. And I offer like a 30-minute like deal structuring strategy also. But I really like to know and have a good sense of who's coming into my program, because if it doesn't mesh with them, or they don't like it, or that would
it's not going to do well, and it's not going to do good for your business either.
No,
right?
It's terrible. Yeah.
And you're not going to accept people. This is the conversation I have with people. It's easy for the ones that it's easy to hand over their credit card information. And I'm like, I don't care about the money. It's about, are you willing to do the work?
Are you going to do what I tell you to do in these videos, in these strategy sessions? Are you actually going to take the time, or are you going to stay stuck? And not utilize what I'm teaching you. You know, but honestly, on the flip side of that, I have some students who really just want to understand. They really just want to be on the inside track, and they really want to, and you know, maybe they'll do a deal, but they're also there for the camaraderie of the group and for, you know, cheering other people on. And sometimes they flip-flop deals back and forth where, you know, one is really strong to go out, and then somebody else has a friend that wants to be a private money partner, and they still get the whole deal done, but they didn't actually do what I started to try to teach them to do, but they still get deals done.
Yeah. And it's just showing up, right? It's showing up to be educated. It's showing up to be, you know, to be curious. And I think what, you know, the foundation of this conversation is to be open to another way of being in the world. And that just because, you know, maybe you're a teacher and you're like, I love teaching, but dang, you know, we're penny pinching and I can't make ends meet, or I don't know how I'm never going to be able to retire. Right. And then you're seeing all of these other things going. It's like, you can keep the job that you love and still bring in money. Or you can quit altogether. You can do whatever you want. And yes, it's not going to happen overnight. And, you know, maybe this conversation, someone's like, I'm just trying to get started on this one thing. I can't think about putting something else on my plate. I just hope someone gains, I mean, you've given tremendous value, but even just the opportunity of an aha moment that it is possible to make income another way.
It's totally possible. And you don't need a license. You don't need a whole bunch of money. You don't need a team built. You don't need a LLC to get started. You need a seller and you need a contract. And then the rest of it comes in line. The money happens after you get the seller to sign the contract.
Okay. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you where everyone can connect and follow you. And I love your Facebook group because I think it's hilarious. I just think it's hilarious because your energy is awesome. But why do you think real estate agents are not all of them are active investors?
A lot of their brokers have scared them away from investing because their broker needs them to keep chasing that clear to close and representing buyers and listing houses with sellers so that their broker makes money. Their brokers a lot of times don't understand investing. I'll tell you, the best.
One second. My son got off the bus and I locked the front door apparently. So he's trying to get in. 1 sec.
Okay.
Can you do it? Okay. All right. I think it's him. Is that Logan? Yeah, he's coming. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
So the best agents I know are also investors. The best investors I know don't have a license. So I say all that, if you're going to have an agent, if you're going to be an agent, the best agents I know are also investors. They have skin in the game. They understand investing. They understand the cash flow side of things. They understand things happen, and they can give you a better perspective because they've lived it. They've been breathing it. They're in it all the time, not just for a quick cash and then they're out and they got to go find somebody else, and they're hustling all the time.
I love this conversation. Okay. I got one coming in already. The other two will be in shortly. Where can people get more of you and stay connected?
You can go to whitneynicely.com. You can friend me on Facebook, Whitney Nicely. You can just type Whitney Nicely in. There's tons of videos and all sorts of stuff on me everywhere. And Nicely is my real last name.
I love it. So Whitney Nicely, spelled WHITNEYNICELY.com, right?
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
And from there, you can get the cheat sheet. I think there's a little opt-in, or you can go to getyourfirstdeal.com to get the cheat sheet.
Perfect. And what does the cheat sheet talk about?
It's actually 22 pages. It's like a little ebook, and it's how to get
it's
started.
Just a cheat sheet.
It's just a little 22 pager. No big deal. It's how to get started, how to find these deals, how to get started on your honey hole, how to start talking to sellers. What's the most important thing you need to find? How to start, letting your people know that you're going to get into this. And it's packed full of information.
Sounds like amazing value. Well, thank you. You've provided me with amazing value, and I'm sure all the listeners. So thank you so much for being here, Whitney.
Thanks for having me, Heather. This is great.
Thanks.